Eve's secret daughter burns down the ark. Noah refuses to let his wife onto the ark, so she blows fire onto it, burning it to the ground. Who is Noah's wife, and why wouldn't he want her to be on the ark? The answers are in a banned book called The Reality of the Rulers, and its purpose is to warn its readers of a dangerous secret. What is this secret? It's that the angels are actually evil beings called Archons, and they are here to trap us on earth, because the earth is really hell. This book was considered heretical and banned from the Bible. Why didn't the church want us to know about this? And what does this all have to do with Noah? All will be revealed in this video. The Reality of the Rulers is also known as the Hypostasis of the Archons. It is a banned book by a group of ancient Christians called Gnostics. The Gnostics believed that the rest of the world had been tricked by what would eventually become mainstream Christianity. They thought that Christianity was a lie perpetuated by the rulers of this world to keep the souls of humanity imprisoned on earth, which is actually hell. Fortunately, there is an escape, and we're going to find out how in this video. The Gnostics believed that what the Bible calls angels are actually cosmic prison guards called Archons or rulers. So, if angels are actually demons, then who is God? They believed that God was the chief ruler, aka Satan himself. Christianity teaches that there is only one God. But why does the Bible suggest otherwise? In Exodus, it says, "Pay attention to all that I have said to you, and make no mention of the names of other gods, nor let it be heard on your lips. And do not worship any other god, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God." So why does God say that there are no other gods, but continuously reference them? And why is he so extremely jealous? According to the Gnostics, the answer is simple. This is not the true God. He is an imposter named Yaldabaoth, and the true God is you. If you want to know more about this in detail, watch my video titled Christianity We Haven't Tried Yet. I'll link it in this video and in the description. Here is the information in a nutshell. The God of the Bible imprisoned you, the real God, in an extremely limiting human body. He wiped your memory, he split you into two separate parts, the masculine and the feminine, and finally, he trapped you here on Earth, which is really a prison planet, where we are used as part of his sick agenda to enslave humanity. The Reality of the Rulers says, "Out of conceit and lack of gnosis, he declared with power, 'I am the only God. There is no other God but me.' By saying this, he sinned against the fullness. When his words reached the incorruptible realm, a voice rang out of it and said, 'You are wrong, Samael.' Samael's thoughts, too, were blind. He expressed his power through blasphemy. Wisdom guided him down to chaos and the abyss. So, who are these other gods that Yaldabaoth refuses to let us acknowledge? They are all us. The Gnostics believed that we existed in unity in a perfect world of light and goodness called the Pleroma. You are a divine being that has the ability to express itself in an immeasurable amount of ways. Yaldabaoth was also a part of that perfect world, but when he selfishly proclaims himself to be the only God, his ignorance causes him to fall into the abyss. In his rage, Yaldabaoth emanated imperfect beings called Archons, who are the rulers of this imperfect universe. These beings are mistakenly held as angels in what would become the canonical Bible. So far, we have learned that we are God, and we are trapped in hell. And it gets worse. We can't even escape in death. If we follow the God of the Bible and this world, we will stay stuck in a low vibrational state forever. This will cause our souls to incarnate over and over and over again, from body to body to body. Luckily, there is a way to escape. This is where Noah comes in. We all know the story of Noah and the great flood and the ark. But according to the Gnostics, Noah was just as evil as Yaldabaoth. In the biblical story, God wiped out every being on earth, including innocent children, because of their sinful ways. But he decided to save Noah and his family because they were obedient. The Gnostics believed that this was an inversion of the truth. They believed that at the time, the overwhelming majority of humanity was starting to awaken. They became too self-aware, and they started to realize the truth, that God was evil, and they stopped worshipping him. The Archons then came up with a plan. They persuaded Yaldabaoth to wipe out all of humanity, but they allowed Noah and his descendants to survive, because they could repopulate the earth with obedient slaves who would continue to blindly worship Yaldabaoth. The reality of the rulers says, the rulers took counsel with one another and said, "Come, let us cause a flood with our hands and obliterate all flesh, from man to beast." But when the ruler of the forces came to know their decision, he said to Noah, "Make yourself an ark from wood that does not rot, and hide in it, you and your children and the beasts and the birds of heaven from small to large, and set it up on Mount Seir." Now this is where Noah's wife comes in. We have Noah, who is associated with water and is a slave to Yaldabaoth. And we now have Norea. She is Noah's wife and the secret daughter of Eve. She is the polar opposite to Noah. Her name is associated with fire, and she knows that she comes from the realm of light. Norea wants to be let onto the ark, but Noah refuses, so she blows onto the ark and consumes it with fire. This annoys the rulers, so they meet with her along with Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth tries to intimidate her by referencing the fact that he forced himself onto Eve. She is not intimidated in the slightest. She calls him the ruler of darkness and tells him that she doesn't fear him because she comes from the world of light. Yaldabaoth becomes enraged, so he turns to Norea and tells her that she is about to suffer the same fate as Eve. She doesn't care. She knows that she is protected, and she calls out to the one true God, and Yaldabaoth and his minions scatter. Norea continues to speak to God, and she asks him if she will ever become like Yaldabaoth. He replies, "You and your children are from the original Father. Their souls come from above, from pristine light. Because of the spirit of truth within them, the rulers cannot come near them. But your descendants will remain hidden for now. After 3 ages, they will reveal who they truly are and liberate others from the chains of the ruler's errors." Now, what does this all mean? Why does it say that after 3 ages, they will reveal who they are? Ancient cultures recognize that every 2150 years, the sunrise of the spring equinox occurred at a different sign of the zodiac. They called this the Great Year, or an age. The canon reflects a symbolic movement through 3 ages and foreshadows a 4th. In Exodus 31:18, Moses, who represents the age of Aries, shatters the tablets of the 10 Commandments and instructs his people to kill each other after realizing that they are worshipping a golden bull calf. This is symbolic of the previous age of Taurus. Upon every new age, everyone must shed the old age. Jesus then brings in the 3rd age, the age of Pisces. The energy of Pisces brought to life the notions of forgiveness, empathy, innocence, love, and devotion. It established the belief in a higher force and the search for a connection to the divine. The concept of good and evil, heaven and hell, sin and sacrifice shaped the meaning of spirituality in this age. However, the shadow side of Pisces can lead us to a loss of the sense of reality, self-destruction, addictions focused on escapism, and religious fanaticism and intolerance. The idea of guilt and suffering being synonymous with spirituality has definitely taken root in this period. We are now beginning to move away from the age of Pisces. By the year 2150, we will have fully entered the new age, the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius symbolizes a time of discovery and progress. It represents a thirst for change and a longing for a better future. The ruler of the collective, Aquarius, speaks about humanitarian ideals and cooperation. It also rules the realms of the mind. It searches for and shares knowledge in the fight for personal and intellectual freedom. The Gnostics referred to this as Gnosis, and it has been waiting for us for over 2,000 years. Now, back to our original question. How do we escape this prison planet? The answers are in the metaphors interwoven throughout this story. Norea represents those who do not fall for the lies that this system feeds to us. She knows that she is divine. The Gnostics were issuing this story as a warning. At the time that this book was written, there was a fight between what would actually become mainstream Christianity. The Gnostics were trying to warn us that if we went with what would eventually become mainstream Christian orthodoxy, we would stay trapped on the wheel of karma, reincarnating over and over again onto a prison planet, existing only to live as a slave and to worship Satan. So how do we escape? I think the answer is actually quite simple. Do not fall for the lies that are imposed onto us. Realize that you are a divine expression of God, full stop. You have infinite potential and you do not need to give up any of your power to anybody.